Mario has dabbled in many types of video games. Though perhaps best known for his classic platforming 2D and 3D adventures, he's found himself in all sorts of different styles of gameplay. He's even got a typing game, what hasn't he done? But for the intent on this video, we're going to focus on those games where Mario was in the classic RPG setting. Games with a detailed story full of dialogue, timed hit attacks, and sometimes Luigi. We've had 3 Mario RPG releases in the span of a year, which is crazy to think about. There was the Super Mario RPG remake, which released to great success. We also had the Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remaster, which also sold well. And to complete the trio, we had not only the 3rd most recent Mario RPG, but also the return of a series that laid long dormant, having not gotten a new title in the past 9 years. That's right, this episode we're talking about Mario and Luigi Brothership. In this series, Mario and Luigi work together through turn-based combat, and fans rejoice seeing the new title in a Nintendo Direct. However, the game has been met with a decent amount of criticism, and some pretty divided opinions among Nintendo fans. But I wanted to see for myself what's got everybody in a tizzy about the new Mario and Luigi title. So, how is it? There's a lot to say about this one. Some good, some not so good. But did this game get some brotherly love, or did it sail away, never to return? Let's find out. We open with Luigi being chased by bees, and Mario attempting to rescue him, only for both to end up engulfed by a bright light. In fact, the whole Mushroom Kingdom is engulfed by this light. The brothers, Princess Peach, the Toads, heck, even Bowser and his minions can't escape. It has great visuals, fantastic music, and plenty of intrigue that had me amped to start this game. Oh boy, a great opening for a great Mario RPG. Right? Mario is separated from his brother before finding him on a moving island in the shape of a ship. Ship-Shape Island! I wonder why it's called that. Here you find Connie, a self-acclaimed botanist who is in charge of a mast-shaped tree called the Unitree, which united the land of Concordia. No relation. Concordia was brought together by the Unitree. It consists of multiple islands and 4 great lighthouses surrounding them. Unfortunately, a cataclysmic event destroyed the Unitree and caused the islands to scatter along with their inhabitants. What does this mean for Mario and Luigi? Well, it means they get shot out of the cannon. You go from island to island, reaching each lighthouse and trying to pull their plug in order to unite them with the Unitree of Shapeship Island. It's a pretty standard gameplay loop. Explore the island, help the inhabitants, deal with the lighthouse, rinse and repeat. We're also joined by a flying pig that's not a pig, named Snoutlet, totally a pig, who acts as their companion for the game. I don't know why, but their text-to-speech reminds me of the game Tulip. As for what I think of him, I'll talk about him later, when I get to the negatives. Once you solve the issues and united the island, you can access it again anytime afterwards, through a warp pipe. It's a unique non-linear way to go through the game, as you sail to sea to discover these new islands, and do so in whatever order you want, while going back to older islands for various reasons. You do this by controlling Mario and Luigi simultaneously, with the A and B button. A makes Mario jump, B makes Luigi jump, though Luigi automatically jumps half the time, so it's kind of pointless. Along with islands, exploring the ocean, you find islets, mini islands with treasure or useful side quests, and reefs, landmarks that you could see, but not touch. There's a lot to see here. Eventually, you find Great Lighthouse Islands. These are huge islands that often contain bosses and have their own lighthouse maze to it. Usually, you'll get some more story beats here. When it comes to exploring the islands itself, it can be a lot of fun. Each island you visit is different in some way, and tends to have its own theme. There are NPCs, some cool enemies you can fight, and unique musical pieces for each island, although some are catchier than others. It helps that the world of Concordia and the game itself look incredible, with an artistic direction I absolutely love. The Mario and Luigi art style translates so well from the portable game era of the GBA, DS, and 3DS. It's a natural fit for the Switch, limitations and all. The cartoony look for the brothers is great too. Speaking of the brothers, they're probably the best thing about this game. One simple thing I like about Mario and Luigi is that throughout this RPG series, they feel like brothers who care about each other. In Paper Mario, Luigi is kind of treated like a joke, and in Mario RPG, he barely even appears. In Brothership, though, you see how much they care for each other, and how much they actually get along. One of my favorite moments is when they connect an island together and make their way back to shipshape. They jump around in celebration, and I don't know, it just makes me smile to see them so happy. Not to mention, the sound of the brothers are magnificent too, as this is the first time Kevin Afghani is voicing Mario and Luigi in a Mario RPG. It's perfect. Mr. Afghani has come a long way since Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and yes, they talk in gibberish like the previous Mario and Luigi games. You mostly move around together in the overworld, but there are exceptions where they split up, usually having Luigi do some wacky move like hitting switches with a hammer, while Mario passes through a door, or Luigi hides in a barrel and moves around, while Mario sneaks along with him behind the barrel. These are some of the most creative uses for the brothers in the game, and I really like it a lot. Luigi shares more of a spotlight in this game too. After all, it is called Mario and Luigi, and while the comedy tends to focus on him, he does have moments of brilliance that the game calls Luigi logic. This is where he'll think of an idea that helps continue the story, or he'll do something automatically, like collect coins, pull turnips, or find these sprite bulbs. Flying light bulb creatures, did you guess electricity is the main theme of this game yet? That you can collect for specific reasons we'll get to very soon. It gives Luigi a unique purpose for being here, and makes him seem more creative than he was in past games, which is a double-edged sword that I'll get to later. But let's talk about what makes the brothers really shine, and arguably the best thing about Brothership: the combat. Once a battle starts, Mario and Luigi are front and center, much like other Mario RPGs. And also like the others, timed attacks play a big role too. You have to hit A at the right time for Mario's attacks, and B for Luigi's attacks. These attacks range from jumping, using a hammer, to special bro attacks complete with flashy animation. The main appeal is the goofy ways the brothers perform these attacks. For example, Mario will jump on the enemy, then jump on Luigi, and then hit the enemy with another powerful jump. Luigi will hit the enemy with a hammer, raise it up in the air. Mario will hit Luigi's hammer with his hammer, causing even stronger damage. It's such a creative and entertaining way to get across how these brothers fight. The special bro attacks are usually super duper flashy, and require you to hit certain buttons in a specific order. And man, those attacks can do massive damage to all the opponents. Speaking of opponents, you can counter enemies by either avoiding their attacks or fighting back, but you have to time it just right. Each enemy has their own set of moves, with a way to avoid and or counter it. And with the enemy selection in the game, they really went above and beyond, making attacks feel satisfying and fun. And of course, the brothers level up, getting a variety of stat upgrades from attack to defense to speed to stash? Yeah, stash is an actual battle stat here. I think that's been a thing since Mario and Luigi. What does it do? I don't know, honestly. And after a series of level ups, you can get more in-game benefits, like bonus increased stats, extra accessory slots, and more. But none of that beats the best perk of leveling: that level up theme! Luigi logic makes an appearance in combat too, but only in boss fights. Usually when facing a boss, the environment will change in some way that allows Luigi logic to kick in. And once you select it, you can hit buttons at the right time to stun the big guy. giving you a free shot, effectively turning the tides of some battles. And if that wasn't enough about combat, battle plugs get introduced later in the game. You remember those sprite bulbs I mentioned? You can either equip the ones you collect as battle plugs that give you certain benefits over a period of time. For example, a plug can make it where if you do a successful time attack, a shockwave will roll out, hitting surrounding enemies. There's a plug where if you hit someone with a hammer, a spike ball will immediately fall on their head, causing extra damage. Having trouble with counters or avoiding attacks? You can equip a battle plug to make counters much easier to avoid. You can even equip a plug that automatically uses a mushroom or syrup to replenish your health or BP. There are so many battle plugs you can craft and use. And the beauty of them, even though they run out of juice after a certain period of time, you can easily recharge them by simply attacking normally in-game. This encourages you to really experiment with certain combinations, seeing which ones will fit your playstyle more. Test out which plugs go together and customize to your heart's content. All these factors and more make Mario and Luigi Brothership one of the best combat systems I have ever seen in a Mario RPG. I'd even say it's better than Thousand Year Door's combat. It's a ton of fun getting rid of enemies in multiple ways and seeing all the things you can do to pulverize them. It's the most versatile combat I've seen in an RPG in a long time, and it really pushes the envelope on what you can do. All that said, there is one complaint I have with the combat. Why is it that you have to hit the A button to start Mario's attacks when you hit the A button at the right time, but for Luigi's attacks of hitting the B button, you select his attack with the A button? It throws me off so badly, and the amount of times I messed up an attack because of the button order is more than I like to admit. So, while I've been showering the game with nothing but praise, it's not perfect. It has quite a lot of flaws, in fact, and unfortunately a pretty important one. The story. Mario and Luigi going to a new land should be exciting and thrilling, but honestly, the inhabitants of Concordia are just so boring. A lot of the no-named NPCs look too similar, only having like 3 to 4 varieties to how they look. They're making the designs from Monsters University look like piece de resistance in comparison. And each character you encounter plays little to no significant role or gives us a reason to care about them, with very few exceptions. I don't really have a reason to care about the Concordians. They never explained why Mario and Luigi want to help, other than the kindness of their hearts. Which, yeah, the brothers do that a lot, but it doesn't make me care. It feels more like I'm doing chores for somebody who doesn't want to do them, not helping somebody in need. They have mini stories, sure, but they tend to drag and just go through the motions. I don't feel like I'm contributing much here, and even if I did, it's not satisfying. It's padding until I get to the lighthouse. To be fair, those are the side characters. Surely the main ones will be interesting. Well, there are technically 2 main characters. The first is Connie, and while she has the most unique design of the Plug citizens, and the writers did try giving her a backstory of some sort, there isn't much to it and she comes across as boring. And then there's our companion Snoutlet. I don't like Snoutlet. He's not awful, but most of the time he's either forcibly shoving tutorials down your throat in a way that makes some Pokemon tutorials seem timid, or is trying too hard to be funny with a joke that never hits in the first place. His main gimmick is he looks like a pig, but he's not. Comedy gold! Even the villains, normally a source of prime comedy in a Mario RPG, are not only introduced way too late, but are also bland and dull. I still don't remember the name of the big bad for this one, and I played this game for like 25 hours. Compare that to Bowser, Grodus and Lord Crump from Thousand Year Door, Count Bleck and Dimentio from Super Paper Mario. Heck, I never played Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, but I know about Fawful. But these extension guys? Not only are they not threatening, they just aren't that interesting. In fact, that's another issue with Mario and Luigi Brothership. For a Mario RPG, it isn't really that funny. Maybe I'm spoiled by the previous Mario RPGs, but both of them had me laughing out loud. The Thousand Year Door had me guffawing, and did it so naturally I didn't even think about it. Here, I don't know what happened, but none of the jokes are landing. They try, but often the jokes are worded weirdly, the punchline doesn't hit, or it's just awkward. Take, for example, in every level, there's this Grand P turnip, an old turnip you pull from the ground with glasses and a beard, who rambles on and on about God knows what. It feels like it's trying to do the old man rambles a lot joke, which doesn't even crack a smile for me, especially since this is a character I'm sure you can find on every island. They could have done so much, maybe made him more angry like Mr. Rossetti. But no, he's just a rambling turnip that I often spam the A button to get through his dialogue as fast as possible when I end up talking to him. God, even Luigi, the comic relief for a lot of Mario Bros. Games, isn't that funny. Sure, he feels less like a cowardly Luigi we know, but the main joke for him is landing weirdly on an island after being launched out of a cannon. So funny! The Luigi logic moments that give Luigi the freedom to be wacky don't really do anything funny or overboard either. And that's such a missed opportunity. Makes me miss the days of listening to Luigi ramble on and on about his adventures in Thousand Year Door. Wait, Mario and Luigi stole that joke! But what about Peach? I mentioned her in this game. Maybe she's funny. And Bowser. He's always a riot in Mario RPGs. When does he get introduced? Well, Peach doesn't get introduced until the second area, and Bowser doesn't get introduced until the third. 20 hours into the game! My final issue, in case you can't tell, is that the game has a big pacing problem. It takes too long to get through certain plot points. Certain mechanics in the game take too long to get introduced. And everything feels like padding. You don't learn who the main villain is until the second area, and even barely so. As stated, Peach arrives too late. It takes you beating the first island a good couple of hours in to get the hammer, something you get within the first 10 minutes of previous games, if not automatically. Everything feels slow, like it's trying to artificially increase the length of the game. And none of that is more clear than waiting to go to certain new islands, as you ride Shipshape Island real time while you wait to travel to find islands, which can take quite a long time. Now, to be fair, the game does give you things to do while you wait, as side quests are all over islands you connect to with Shipshape. But there are two problems with this. Number one, I don't care about these NPCs at all. Other than maybe collecting optional gear. Why would I want to help these people I don't care about? And two, the boat rides close to the islands you need to discover, even as you do your quests on other islands. And oftentimes, you can miss the opportunity to run to a new island, which is not only very annoying, but discourages me from going to other islands. Stay put, otherwise you make another lap around. Why does this take so long? I heard you get something eventually that makes sailing faster, but guess what? That takes too long to get to! Sitting there waiting and waiting and yo ho, a brother's life for me, yaha! So yes, while there are good things about this game, there are quite a lot of complaints about Mario and Luigi Brothership. While it excels in combat and the brothers are entertaining, it's hard for me to play because the story doesn't enthrall me. Which is unfortunate because this game is an RPG. It got to a point where I was struggling so hard to stay interested that I had to take breaks from the monotony. I didn't even finish the game. It's not a bad game, not at all. And it even feels unfair to compare it to Mario RPG and Thousand Year Door, games that were polished and got remakes, to this, where it's its first time in the ring. Brothership has also done no favors being released so close to the others because it contributes to the fatigue of this style of game. maybe you can have too much Mario RPGs. Regardless, Mario and Luigi Brothership is heavily flawed. If you're looking for a game where you don't really care about the story and it has fun combat, I suggest giving it a shot. But if you want a gripping story on par with the previous entries that you can sink your teeth into, you're just not going to get it here, at least not as soon as you should. While the ship doesn't sink, Mario and Luigi Brothership ain't no pleasure cruise. Now my main question is, how do I finish this game in time for this video? Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and check out my other videos too. Special thanks to all the people who helped me out with the video. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Also an extra special thanks to my Patreon patrons, including Mantelferox and Savacom. If you'd like to join the Patreon, the link is in the description below, along with my Blue Sky, Twitch, and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night.